Have you ever made a decision only to realize later on that it wasn't truly what you wanted and you just felt like icky after? You're like, ugh, I just made this decision because someone else told me to make that decision. I know we've all been there before, and I know how frustrating it can feel when you're like, I wish I just trusted myself more. And so that is why I think this episode is so important, because self-trust is one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself. It helps you build confidence, happiness, and even just like your ability to attract what you desire in life. And when you don't trust yourself, you are second guessing your decisions, you're seeking constant validation, and you're just struggling with confidence. And without self-trust, you end up just absorbing other people's opinions instead of tuning in to your own and tuning into your own intuition. And the more that you don't tune into your own intuition and ask other people the more that you ask for their opinions, the less that you are listening to yourself, and the more that you are just losing that muscle of self-trust and your intuition as a whole. And so whether it is in a dating, career decisions, or even just like personal style, when we are seeking external approval rather than just trusting our own instincts and desires, this can really lead to regret and just like us living a life that is just not true to ourselves. And this is something that I used to struggle with so much. It had me always second guessing myself, whether it was in dating or career, or constantly just asking people, what should I be doing, instead of trusting my own instincts. And even with something as simple as like picking out an outfit, I felt like I needed validation from others before feeling confident in my choice. And honestly, it is so draining, because it just made me feel like I was not in control of my life. Like I was always waiting for someone else to give me permission to move forward. And the worst part was that even when I did get that reassurance, even when someone did tell me, oh, you should wear that thing or you should make that decision, like it never felt like enough, because deep down I wasn't trusting myself or asking myself, like, what do I want? And so this really big shift happened when I realized that no one else was living my life but me. No one else knows what's best for me better than I do. And it's just realizing that each and every one of us is so unique and different. And if I kept outsourcing my decisions, I would never build the confidence to fully just trust myself, nor would I be living my most authentic life. And so today, I really want us to get deep into how to trust yourself more, some practical tools to do that, and why it is just so important that you begin trusting yourself. And before we get into this, I wanted to quickly mention that if you are feeling stuck right now, or you're just not making the progress that you want in your life, I'm offering 25% off all of my coaching packages in March. It's my way of giving you that extra push to help you move forward. The link to book a free coaching consult is in the description if you are interested. But without further ado, let's get back into this episode. And the first way to build that self-trust is to process before you share. So before you go and ask everyone for advice, ask yourself, what do I think about this? Because so often we are not even giving ourselves time to process and figure out what we want. And this is something that I did so much, especially when it would come to dating. Like, let's say I just started talking to someone new or dating a new guy, and instead of asking myself, do I even like him, or how did this situation make me feel, it was talking to my friends and debriefing and being like, wait, what do you guys think of this? And I know it's so tempting and exciting to immediately ask a friend for advice, and it can be great to hear an outsider's perspective, but realize that what doesn't feel right for someone else might feel right for you, and what feels right for someone else might not feel right for you, and like vice versa. Like, we are all so unique and different in our choices and what feels right for us and what is right for us. And so that's why it is so important for you to just process how you feel before you go and take on other people's decisions. And I think it's also just so exhausting to have to poll everyone before you make a choice and be like texting a million people and like asking a million people what they think, instead of just being like, you know what, maybe I do know what's best for me, and like figuring that out. And so it is so important that you give yourself that time to process and see how you feel before you share, and recognize that everyone is living with their own decisions that they make. Like, the only person that is living with the decisions that are made in your life are you, not anyone else. And so of course you can get what other people have to say and you can listen to it and see how you feel about it, but at the end of the day, you are the one who is listening, like living with those decisions. And so it's so important for you to really process and understand how you feel about it yourself first. The second way to build that self-trust is to get clear on your own standards and values and ask yourself, what is important to me? What are my non-negotiables? Whether this is in dating, career, or just any decisions in your life, like how do I want to feel when I make those decisions? I had a friend whose mom would always say, try on your decisions first. So if you're having trouble deciding what to do, pretend that you are deciding to do that and like see how it feels for you. Like you're trying on a shirt or you're trying on like new pair of shoes. Like let's say your decision is either going out tonight or staying in. Like try on both decisions and see how it feels for you. And I think that's such like a non-committal way to have to just make the decision, and it feels a lot less intimidating when you do that. It's also so great for you to write a values list. And this gives you a decision-making compass, and it also just makes it a lot easier for you to make decisions when you know what your values are. Because let's say you're trying to make a decision and you're like, wait, I don't know what I'm going to do. And you can look at your values list and be like, okay, which decision aligns the most with my values list? And if you want a values worksheet that I give to my clients, DM me and I can just quickly send you over the PDF. But the third one to really build that self-trust is to stop seeking constant validation. And this is shifting your mindset from what will others think to what do I think. So let's say you're wearing an outfit. Ask yourself, do I actually like it, or am I just wearing it because others will approve? Or are you going to ask someone to see what they think and change if they don't like it? Like I had so many of these things where like I would wear something that I felt so confident in and so good in, and then I went and would ask someone like what they thought of it. And a lot of the times, like sometimes I wouldn't get the answer that I wanted, and then I would go and change and then not feel confident in what, like in the decision that I made or in what I was wearing. And so that's why it's so important for you to really just tune into yourself and ask yourself like, wait, what do I think and what is the most important to me here? Because you're the person who's wearing that outfit in the same way that you are the one who's living with the decisions that you make. And the last way to build that self-trust is let go of the fear of being wrong. And I think this is a big reason that people don't trust themselves. It's because of this fear of making the wrong decision. But realize that there is no such thing as a perfect decision. Like every choice teaches you something. And when you just accept that, I feel like a huge weight is just lifted off, because you're like, you know what? There is no such thing as a perfect decision. Like there's only decision A and decision B, and both are just a decision. Like not one is necessarily better than the other. And so instead of thinking, what if I make the wrong choice? You can reframe that to every choice is a step forward, and what is this teaching me? At the end of the day, it is also so important for you to recognize that the only person that knows what is best for you is yourself. So of course it is great to gather information from others, hear what they have to say, and it's important to be open to what others have to say, but your intuition and your feelings are all there for a reason. And it is so important for you to listen to them, because there is so much insight in them. Like your gut feelings are real. They come from past experiences, subconscious knowledge, and your inner wisdom, because again, you have lived this far in your life. And so you have to know a thing or two. And so it's so important to just really listen to that. And the more that you do listen to your intuition and your gut feelings, and the more that you act on them, the stronger that they become. I also want to quickly remind you too that like self-trust is a muscle. And so it's not something that automatically is like, oh, I'm just going to make this decisions and it's going to feel great and easy, but it's something that you build up on. And so start like strengthening it by making small decisions on your own. And so maybe that's just as simple as, instead of asking people what you're going to eat for lunch, like ask yourself, what do I want to eat for lunch? Before you're like leaving the house and like trying on an outfit, just like ask yourself, wait, do I like this outfit and how do I feel about it? Because the more that you trust yourself, the more confident you'll feel in every single aspect of your life. And you deserve to just feel confident in every single aspect of your life. It is such a freeing feeling. It feels so good to be in tune with yourself, to be trusting your instincts, to be trusting your intuition, because at the end of the day, it knows a thing or two.